is a comprehensive and improved overview of all of the classes I have available for my Christian Witchcraft courses. Now with accurate prices displayed. First we have the introduction. Now again, you can get these in slide form or in video form with the slides as well. But this basically explains why Christian witchcraft is okay if you're not familiar with it. We analyze the verses that say that it's not and tell you what they actually mean. But then it also walks you through how to access the rest of the courses and classes. This then takes us to the basics, which is a course dedicated to Witchcraft 101 with some Christian witchcraft sprinkled in there. But even if you're more of an advanced practitioner, there might be some stuff in there that you might find useful. Class number 1 of the basics is debunking hell and the devil. Because maybe you're thinking, am I gonna go to hell for worshiping witchcraft? Oh, is the devil, is he possessing me? Da da da. Or maybe you're just curious as to like, oh, what's this about? I got you. Class number 2 is how and why does witchcraft work? Why do we use things like candles and herbs and all of this stuff? What does your mind have to do with it? Energy, physics, all of that combined. Why and how does that translate into magic and getting results from doing magic? Next, we have doing witchcraft ethically, and this is a longer one, which is why we see some slightly higher prices. This walks you through concepts like closed practices, and also how there's some problematic things in the New Age spiritual community, but if you don't know what to look for, they can be difficult to spot. So this walks you through what to look for and how to spot it so that we can avoid hurting marginalized groups of people with our craft. In fact, we want to be allies within our craft. Next, we have color magic. I always say if you are beginning magic for the very first time, learn your colors, because that will then help you figure out correspondences to various herbs and crystals that are also of that color. While there are color correspondences in witchcraft, there are also color correspondences in the Bible, and we discuss both of those in this class. Class number 5 is earth and plant magic. How do we use herbs and plants in our witchcraft practice? Why do they work? How do plants get their associations? Now, if you're a Christian witch, you don't have to only use the herbs that are in the Bible, but it's still interesting to learn about. Class number 6 is about crystals. Why do witches like rocks so much? And there's also crystals in the Bible. Class number 7, candle magic. You see witches light candles a lot. Why? What does it do? Next we have lunar magic. Witches like the moon. Why? We also go through all of the moon phases, and you can do magic anytime, but sometimes doing magic under a certain moon phase can boost its energy a little bit. So we talk about the various moon phases, what they're associated with, and then some Bible verses that go hand in hand with what that moon phase is associated with. Next, we have sigils and symbols. You might see witches drawing sigils. How do you do that? Why do you do them? What's the difference between a sigil and a symbol, and how do we use both? We also talk about how the crucifix is a pretty common symbol in Christianity, but what if you don't like it? If you're brand new to witchcraft, what if you're still kind of scared of a pentagram? I got you. Class number 10 is divination, where we discuss people doing divination in the Bible, because yes, that is a thing that happens. And then I walk you through various different types of divination, not every one under the sun, because there's literally so many, but the most common ones like tarot, throwing, charms, scrying, things like that. The last class of the basics is on reincarnation and past lives. Spoiler alert, reincarnation was a big part of early Christianity. So we talk about that and how a lot of Christian witches tend to view it today. You can get the entire basics bundle if you want, which is all of the videos and all of the slides, or as you saw, they're available individually as well. This brings us to the Spellwork Course, and obviously the first one is an introduction. When is the right time to do a spell if you've never done one before? Do you need to cast a circle? How do you give an offering? How do you set up for a spell, and what do you do after the spell is finished? I got you! Next, we get into protection magic and protection spells. This includes a biblical protection spell walkthrough. If you've never done witchcraft before, they're always gonna tell you protection magic is the first thing that you should learn. But why? And how? I got you. Next, we have healing spells. Spoiler alert, you can't cure your chronic illness with magic. I am sorry. But there still are a lot of benefits to healing magic, and Jesus did a lot of healing. So we talk about the do's and don'ts and whens of healing magic, and then there is a biblical healing spell walkthrough. The last class of the Spellwork course is money spells. I didn't want to give you guys a whole grimoire. Like I've said, I wanted to set you guys up to be able to come up with your own spells and kind of build that for yourself. But I feel like giving you just a handful can kind of get you jump started with that. But with this, can Christian witches do money spells? Because Jesus very clearly didn't like greed. When is the right time to do it? And how? And a biblical money spell walkthrough. And then the entire Spellwork course bundle is available if you want. Finally, we get into the Christian Pantheon. Yes, there's a whole pantheon. A small one, but. So the first one is on Jesus, because I figure he's probably who most of us are familiar with, so he's a good place to start. But there might be some things about Jesus that you didn't know, because we have more myths about his childhood, teenagehood, and young adulthood than you might think. And then, of course, how to work with him in our Christian witchcraft practice. Class number 2 is on Asherah. Did you know that God has a wife? If you didn't, your mind is probably blown right now. But it's true. Why didn't I know this? How did this happen? Where did she come from? How was she worshipped in antiquity? This is also a great lesson on syncretism. If you like anthropology, you'll really like this one. And of course, how we can incorporate her into our Christian witchcraft practices. Class number 3 is on Sophia, the Holy Spirit. Wait, are Asherah and Sophia separate beings, or are they the same? Yes, this goes into more detail with that. Various myths on Sophia, who she is, why she is, who figured that she was the Holy Spirit, and how to work with her. And finally, God the Father. Why did I put him last? Because I know y'all are traumatized, and that's okay. If you have the mentality of, I like Jesus, but I don't like his dad, I understand, but, if you don't want to touch God again with a 10-foot pole, I'm not going to make you. I'm not here to try to evangelize you. But this, I hope, can maybe provide a slightly different perspective into, oh, maybe this isn't quite what I thought. Again, you don't have to work with him. How to work with him is in this course, because that's what these courses entail, but I understand that for some people's trauma, it might be too much. This is just here to educate and maybe help heal some trauma along the way. And then there's the whole course bundle. More courses and classes will be coming soon. I've already gotten started on the next one. I'm shooting for May, but we are moving, so bear with me. And also, when you're taking a look at these, I would definitely recommend finding this little arrow and hitting oldest to newest. It just makes things a little easier to navigate. If you watched this whole thing, thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.